Welcome back to a Telltale Books video. I'm Greg,
I'm Emily.
and we're here to continue our Edgar Allan Poe series, reading everything we can find by Edgar Allan Poe and reporting to you. Um, this one, we are covering what I thought was going to be a story because it's in the tales section of his
Yeah.
tales and poems. It's titled The Philosophy of Furniture.
Yep.
The Philosophy of Furniture is actually not a short story, it's nonfiction.
hmm
It's an essay that was published in Burton's Gentleman's Magazine in May of 1840. And I believe Poe only lived till 1847.
I
So
think so. Yeah.
it looks like a lot of his most famous works were written in those
Yeah.
last
In his
five,
last
six
years.
years.
Yeah.
And well, the essay is basically about interior design, interior
Yes.
decoration.
It's an opinion piece
Yeah,
that also makes fun of some other cultures and how they decorate.
yeah,
I kind of liked that a little though. It was kind of a funny, like, almost satire, but not really. Like
okay.
10% of it was a joke, and the rest of it is I'm dead serious. This is ridiculous.
Uh-huh.
Um, But yeah, do you want me to kind of go over the synopsis
Go
in
ahead.
short? It's a really short essay. It's like only a few paragraphs long. And basically, what he's saying is that because Americans don't have the monarchy to set the stage for what is trending and what is considered fashionable, we let money become God, basically, in that manner.
Yeah.
We worship the almighty dollar, and with the more money a person has, the more outrageous their taste in decoration ends up becoming because they want to flaunt their wealth, whereas in European countries and the colonies and that sort of thing, the Europeans have the monarchy, and the monarchy is the epitome of wealth and trend.
Mm-hmm.
And what they do is kind of sets the stage for everything else.
Mm-hmm.
So American design often becomes extremely gaudy
Yes.
because of people wanting to show their wealth. So they end up doing things too ornate or too ornamental or too much or too big or too gold or just a lot to
Mhm.
try and flaunt their wealth
Yeah.
when there are much more tasteful ways of showing that you have wealth without having to be a gaudy grossness.
Mm-hmm.
And then he gives a really long paragraph basically outlining a very simple, basic idea of how to decorate a space, in his opinion, that is still fashionable, still well done, and isn't over the top, but is tasteful,
Yeah.
which is kind of interesting. I
Mm-hmm.
don't think of Poe as an interior designer.
No, this isn't. This totally surprised me. I was not
Mhm.
expecting this at all.
Yeah.
It's not what you think of when you think of Edgar Allan Poe
Yes.
at all. And
Not
I
even a
read
little.
this and got to the end and thought, what the heck did I just read?
I know. Who is this person?
Why did he write something so boring?
Yes.
I
Seriously.
know
Like,
you
why is
like
this
that
so
kind of stuff.
important? But I do kind of get what he's saying. I think he
Yeah.
he was making the point that America it's less of to me, and I always read into things too much, so stop me if I'm going over the top, but to me it was basically saying like, America, why are we letting money run this? Why are we letting that be a thing? Why can't we just all be simple people doing the best we can? And like, why are we focusing on the way things look more than who we are as people or who we are perceived as people as a culture? And we should be more worried about character than how our stuff looks.
I think a lot of that came from, the United States is only a bit more than 200 years old,
Mm-hmm.
250 years old
Mm-hmm.
coming up. And all the European countries date back to ancient Rome.
Yeah.
And they've had these centuries of monarchies and the whole aristocracy and
Mm-hmm.
all the highest taste, the greatest music, the greatest literature,
Mm-hmm.
Shakespeare and Goethe and all those people.
Renaissances,
Yeah.
revolutions.
And you go to those countries and they have ruins from the distant past lying around. You come to America and you have none of that.
Yeah.
You have nothing. In 1840, most people felt we didn't have any culture.
Mm-hmm.
And the first thing Americans did was try to imitate European culture. And so all the artists went over to Germany to study art
Mm-hmm.
and paint like the Germans did.
Yeah.
So we still didn't have our own culture, but hey,
Mm-hmm.
we were doing as good as they were because we were copying them.
Yes. But we were doing it worse because we were
Mhm.
making it bigger and better when really all
Yeah.
we were doing was gaudier.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
But we did that on purpose to try and prove that we were something.
Yes, to try and build that culture. It was our awkward teenage phase.
Yeah.
Our little awkward adolescence.
And I don't think we ever outgrew that because just when we started to develop uniquely American culture, everything became corporatized and
Yes.
commercial
Yes.
and global.
And because we are a melting pot of many cultures
Hmm.
and we want to have this religious freedom, we do have an eclectic style. And that's why we're called the melting pot.
Yeah.
So we do now still have like everything from mid-century modern is still, coming back in loops and Art Nouveau makes an appearance now and then. We have all these different artistic movements and different styles and like Y2K is now a fashion trend.
Really?
Yeah. Like I went the other day shopping and I was like, "Oh, these are all the things that were really popular when I was in middle school.
Oh, yeah.
These are all the fashion trends, and they all came back. It gives me a second chance! I was conservative back then. I wasn't allowed to wear crop tops. But, it stuff comes around again and again and again, sometimes better, sometimes worse. And I think
Mhm.
it's just a commentary on, yeah, when you have money, you're gonna keep changing into these weird things and trying to prove it and looking
Yeah.
bigger and better and trying to build this culture.
Hmm.
It also speaks a lot about colonization. I
Yeah.
mean, this is very, very like the epitome of colonization material, like
Yeah.
being very aware
Hmm.
that we colonize things and everybody's trying to mimic Europe because Europe had the biggest influence.
Yeah.
So, very interesting.
Hmm.
But yeah,
Yeah. Not my favorite Poe.
no, it's not my favorite Poe either, but it's kind of funny to poke at. It's a
Yeah.
very much an I thought his comedies were outliers. Absolutely not. This is the outlier.
Yeah.
This is the weirdest thing I've ever read by.
That's what's been interesting about this whole
Yeah.
thing of going through everything is that we're finding out all this stuff that isn't what you expect about Poe, that he
Mm-hmm.
was such a wide-ranging writer.
Mm-hmm.
And we only think of him now for his horror fiction, his,
Mm-hmm.
Mask of the Red Death and Black Cat and
His
All the
poetry.
House of Usher.
Mm-hmm.
We don't think of him for all these other things that he did.
Yeah, we don't think of him as a writer. We think of him as a genre. And
Yeah,
this is proving to us that Poe was a writer. He did more than just that. So
but his
it's kind
best
of
stuff
nice.
is still the horror fiction.
Yeah, we still really love that other stuff, but
Yeah.
this is just proving the breadth of his work.
Hmm.
It's quite varied.
Oh yeah.
So, not a top tail,
Nope.
but hey, now we know something about Poe we didn't know before.
Exactly.
How he would design an interior.
He was a secret interior decorator.
Secret. But yeah, that's really all I've got to
Closet
say.
interior
Yeah.
decorator.
Yeah. Wonder how his wife felt about that.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Would,
Anyway,
you mean the one that was dead?
the one he killed and put in the floorboards?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway. But yeah,
Okay.
that's all I got to say about that. So,
Yeah, and there's not a whole lot more to say.
yeah, I mean, it's
That's
really
the whole
short.
thing.
It's hard to say more.
Except to say that our next one will be the man of the crowd.
All right. The Man of the Crowd coming up next by Poe. So, thanks for joining us, guys. Like, subscribe, let us know what you think of Poe. And of course, feel free to view all of our videos. We do have them in a handy dandy little playlist so you can follow along the entire journey of working our way through Edgar Allan Poe's works. So, thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.